friends, and welcome back to Miss Watkins' World, where every day is filled with fun and learning. We're going to have reading lessons and math lessons, and I'm super excited. Today's lesson is a math lesson, and we're learning, it's about time. We're learning about time. Now, this is the second time video. That means it's part 2. So, if you didn't see the first video, go back and watch the video from last time so that you'll get the introduction to clocks and telling time. Today, we are going to review the things that we learned last time, but very quickly. We will review a digital clock, an analog clock, the parts of a clock, and telling time to an hour. Today, we are going to learn how to tell time to a half hour on a digital clock and an analog clock. So, get your brains ready. Really quickly, let's see if you remember the difference between an analog clock and a digital clock. What type of clock is this? Good job. That's a digital clock. What type of clock is this? Great job. That's an analog clock. Now, let's review the parts of the clock. What is this part of the clock called? Good job. That is the clock's face. What are these called? Yes, those are the clock's hands. All right, we use these hands to tell the hour and the minute. Do you remember which hand is which? So yesterday, we learned that the short hand is the hour hand. The short hand is the hour hand. The short hand is the hour hand. So yesterday, we used the short hand to tell how many hours there were, or to tell time to the hour. So we said that when the minute hand is pointed straight up like this, when we're reading the clock, always say o'clock. Because right now, it's 1 o'clock. When it looks like this, it's 6 o'clock. When it's straight up pointing at the 12, that's 12 o'clock. But we also learned that sometimes that hour hand will be in between 2 numbers. And if it is in between 2 numbers, we always go with the number that is less. So if we're looking at this hour hand and it's in between the numbers 2 and 3, that would mean it's 2 something. The hour is 2. If it looks like this, and we're only telling time to the hour, that would mean it's 6 something. The hour is 6 because the hour hand has not reached the 7 yet. If it looks like this, even though it's pretty close to the 11, it has not reached the 11 yet, so that would mean it's 10 something, or the hour is 10. Okay, now we're finished reviewing how to tell time to the hour. So now we're moving on to learn how to tell time to the half hour. Whenever you are telling time to the half hour, the minute hand will be pointed at the 6. Okay? Whenever the minute hand is pointed at the 6, that will mean that half an hour has passed before it reaches the next hour. It also means that 30 minutes have passed because a whole hour is 60 minutes and half of 60 is 30. To figure that out, we count by 5s. When you are telling time on a clock, you count by 5s. Let's count by 5 and see how they figured out that a half hour is 30 minutes. Remember, we're counting by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that is 30 minutes is a half an hour. So today, we're learning how to tell time to the half hour. Now remember I just said that when this minute hand is pointed down at the 6, it is halfway between the hours. And it is 30 minutes. Now because it's halfway between the hour hand is always going to be halfway between the numbers when you're telling time using an analog clock. Right now, we'll look at the hour hand. Since it's halfway between the 1 and the 2, we know it has not reached the 2 yet. So that means the hour is a 1. We will say it's 1:30. Right now, it is 3:30. When both hands are straight down like this, it's 6:30. Now it's 8:30. What time do you think is shown on the clock now? If you said 12:30, you are absolutely correct. Sometimes people will say it's 1:30, it's 2:30, but sometimes people will use the phrase half past. Half past just means it's halfway past an hour. If this hour hand is in between the 1 and the 2, it's 1:30 because it's halfway past the hour number 1. So when it's pointed like that, it's 1:30. We can do it the same way we did it when we were saying 1:30. 1:30 is the same thing, 1:30. Now it's 3:30. This is 5:30. What time is it now? It is 10:30 or 10:30. Oh. What about now? It is 12:30 or 12:30. So remember that clocks, the hour numbers on the clock go from 1 to 12, and then it starts over. Okay, so let's do a little review. During our review, we're going to break it into 2 parts. One part, we're going to use the terms half past because that will give us some practice using that phrase, and it'll help it stick in our brains a little bit. So let's see. I'm going to show some times on my clock, and you're going to tell me what time it is. Round and round she goes. Where she stopped, no one knows. time is it? Great, it is 6:30. What time is it? Good job, it's 10:30. What time is it? Great job. Now it's 2:30. Now let's practice telling time to the half hour, but saying 30 for the minutes. Ready? What time is it? It's 12:30. What time is it? It's 3:30. What time is it? It's 5:30. Telling time to the hour and half hour is much easier on a digital clock. That's why I saved it for last. This is a digital clock. On a digital clock, the first number tells us how many hours there are or what hour there is. We don't have to look at the hands of the clock and try to figure out what number it's pointing to. It tells us what hour it is. When it is an hour and we say o'clock, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, on a digital clock, you'll just see 2 zeros like this. When you see a clock like this, you just say the hour number and o'clock. This clock shows 3 o'clock. This clock shows 7 o'clock. This clock shows 8 o'clock. What time does this clock show? Very good. This clock shows 12 o'clock. Now, the only difference is that when you're telling time to the half hour, instead of those minute numbers being 2 zeros, it will be a 3 and a 0, or the number 30. This clock shows 4:30 or 4:30. So remember, we just talked about what half past means. And we know that half past and 30 minutes is the same thing. This clock shows 9:30. This clock shows 1:30. What time does this clock show? Good, that's 6:30. What's another way to read the time 6:30? If you said 6:30, great job, pat yourself on the back. You worked so hard today, and I'm so proud of you. Kiss your brains. I'm brilliant. Yes, you are. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to see you next time to learn more fun things. Bye.